Now, the scripture has been written with a lot of wisdom as to how human beings are, how God has created them, and what God is wanting from them. And when it comes to husband and wife, God has laid down the standards, what He wants from a husband and what He wants from a wife. And it is our duty to meet those standards. Not that we are going down, but we are meeting those standards. Now we have a scripture verse in the book of Ephesians chapter 5 verse 25 and verse 33. Verse 25 says, "Husbands, love your wife." And verse 33 says, "Each one of you should love his wife just the way he loves himself, and the wife must respect her husband." Now, I want you guys to understand it in this way. When God says to the husbands, "Love your wife," that basically means that God has created something inside a woman which is by default present inside a woman, that she will automatically demand love from her husband, but she's not verbally expressing it. It is by default a vessel. It is a kind of a vessel which is present inside her, which is basically empty, and that has to be filled by her husband. Now, this vessel is a vessel of love, by default present inside a woman. It is empty and it has to be filled by the husband. So she's automatically created and formed by God to receive love inside her. And imagine if the vessel is full, which has to be filled with love only by her husband, then how she's going to respond, how she's going to reciprocate. Another example, if you're hungry, how do you respond? How do you react? You're upset and you're angry. But if your stomach is full, you've eaten your meals, you've eaten your food, how do you respond? You're in a happier place. In the same way, if the vessel inside a woman is filled with love by her husband, she's going to respond in a very good way, in a very appropriate way, in a very positive way. In fact, she's going to respond in the same way, the way her husband wants her to respond. Similarly, there's a vessel created inside a man to receive respect from the wife. Now, this vessel has to be filled with respect from the wife. This is not pre-marriage, this is after marriage time. And if that vessel is full, it is complete, then you know how your husband is going to react, how his behavior is going to be towards you. So the best way to understand this is that God has created and formed husbands and wives in such a way that they ought to receive love and respect from their partners. The vessel inside them, which has been created by default, it has to be filled with love and with respect. And only then they respond to each other in a positive and in a healthy way.